Is it a water weight earthquake? I guess would be the next question. But what would you do if I told you that there's something else here at Branson, that the reason they dammed this up and flooded it to begin with was to hide something that was here? What would you do if I told you that? And that the something that they're trying to hide is ancient civilization stuff. Do you want to see it? What they're trying to hide by flooding all this here? All of this being flooded? Let me show you. This is the Midwest United States. See Florida down here? Just look which way we're oriented, though. And this is St. Louis, Missouri, back here on the right side. Let me make sure you can see this. So this is St. Louis, Missouri, back here. And this is Kansas City, Missouri, here. And this is Tulsa, Oklahoma, here. And over here is Little Rock, Arkansas. And back here is the town of New Madrid, Missouri. Right there. Or right here. There's town of New Madrid. Here's St. Louis. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. State capital, big city, big city, big city. Biggest earthquake in U.S. history. And that's on 5 sides of this 300-mile-long structure that's built into plate from a long time ago. It's 5-sided. It's pentagonal. Now, in the middle is what I just showed you. Branson, right here. They flooded it. They flooded the very middle. And on the back middle here, all of this is the U.S. Army Fort Leonard Wood training area. The military and their stuff. So we got the military in the middle. We got it directly flooded in the very middle. And the military in the back middle. And then out at the front tip is Muskogee. Fort Gibson. Fort Gibson out at the very front of it. At the very tip. Very middle tip of it, military base. Now, you might say, that's weird. There's an earthquake associated right back down where it points to. It points right to where all of our earthquakes are happening down in Oklahoma. And then along the side of it, our earthquakes are striking here. Let's turn our borders and labels back on. There we go. And that takes us right back to where the quake is, right in the middle of it. Now, you might say I'm just seeing shapes. But the military base in the middle, and Branson in the middle, and then we have the ones on the West Coast. This one out here on the West Coast, with our earthquakes at the tip of it, this is the San Andreas in California. And this one points right to where our earthquakes have taken place, at the south tip of the valley, the 5 and all that. Now, this one is 300 miles long. It's 5-sided, and it's got the Grand Canyon on the back side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-sided, pentagonal. And the military base is right in the middle. Edwards Air Force Base is in the middle right there. The middle tip. And the San Andreas is at the very tip. On this side, back right side, is Area 51 and the nuke test sites that I showed you. We blasted out on the right side. Area 51 nuke test sites on this side. And 29 Palms Marine Base and military base and earthquakes over on this side. And in the middle, all the way across it, all those earthquakes that I showed you at the volcanoes, quote unquote. Military base in the middle tip. The second one I showed you, I didn't even want to talk about during this update, and I showed you the military base in the tip of it. Sierra Army Ammo Depot and its bunkers. That's the one in the middle. You can't even barely see it. You can see the one on the left side very easily, but the one in the middle is the hardest to see. It's got Salt Lake City on the back side and the military base in the tip of that one. The third one is much easier to see. It's got Yellowstone on the back side, and it's in the shape, again, right there. It's got a crater on the right side and Yellowstone on the back side, and it goes out to a tip, pinnacle tip right there. And there's a third military base, if you want to call it that, right in the middle of it, here. And this is the Facebook and Apple data centers that are built here. Facebook and Apple. Apple data center, Facebook data center. At the tip of that one. So all three of them have a military base. Military base in the middle of this one, Area 51, 29 Palms. Military base in the tip of this one, Salt Lake City and the bunkers on the backside. And up here, Facebook and Apple data center in the middle of it, and Yellowstone on the backside. Come on. And then the one in the Midwest that I just showed you here, this one, and the earthquakes in the middle of it, and the military base in the middle of it. You'd have to tell me that's all chance. And then that takes me back to the start of the update when I brought you over here to Spain and Portugal and showed you the one here. Let me bring it back due north. Whoops. There we go. Due south, I mean. This is Spain and Portugal. And turning on our borders and labels and places, you'll see Madrid, just like Branson, but this is 500 miles long. Madrid is centered in the middle of the giant bastion fort-shaped 5-sided that's built into the tip of Europe. And then you find out that all of Asia and Europe is a giant triangle, if you want to think of it like that. And North America is a giant triangle. And South America is a giant triangle. And then we get down to the South Pole. And you find out that Antarctica itself is a 5-sided pentagonal star fort-shaped plate that's 6,666 miles long. 6,660 from the volcano back here at the back tip, right through the center of the South Pole, and out to the very tip out here. And it's 6,660 miles if you measure the top of the trench. And if you go to the bottom, deepest part of the trench, it's 6,666 miles from back here through the middle of the South Pole out to the tip. You'd have to tell me that's all chance. And the earthquake striking below them is worth noting. That's why I'm taking the time to tell you about this. These earthquakes are following a path or trajectory. There is electricity or something in the plate that's very similar to electricity that's precipitating the earthquakes, and it's going to the volcanoes, the nuke test sites, the electrical sites, and the drill points as it spreads across the plates. It's amazing.
What pops up there?
Yo, that mud just popped out of nowhere.
Start again. 83 foot waves. 83 foot waves. 4 o'clock, nothing. 2 hours later, Kraken is here. Godzilla has woken up. 83 foot wave.
We got Godzilla out here, y'all.
And grows. So I thought maybe it was just a glitch you could hit at first. No. Not only is it growing, you're seeing a system here that's moving, swelling, all the way until it hits South Africa over here.
Yo, I gotta hit up some people.
The wind is so strong in Cape Town, it has reversed the tide. No waves. One's coming, that's for sure.
Did I not see the moon approaching it? Well, that makes sense now. It was essentially an invisible orb until it reached this point, and then again became invisible. And again, we have proof now that the moon has been out in historical records. We have proof that it's not the moon causing the eclipses, that there are other moons or luminaries that perhaps have burnt out, but still continue their path, true and predictable. And I had no doubt everything was going to tie in together. All of this, the history, the realm, the orbs. And then this creator explains that these were the images that were posted to the news from the same flight. And they were BS images. They had edited out the rest of the orbs. And again, even before I got Royal Astronomical Society in June of 1850 wrote, "We must seriously doubt that the moon is the only satellite of the Earth."
Exactly what was in front of my house, man. The energy felt intense. When I tell you the energy felt intense, look how red it is over.
The projection from the sun in the firmament. And not only did I catch it, but my friend Brandon Thomas, who has the Expanding Reality podcast, used a solar filter and not only caught one, but he caught two. And you being in the firmament. And not only that, but there being layers of the firmament. So if the sun was in the firmament, maybe we are seeing the reflections in the different layers of the firmament, where usually we just see the projection right here. And usually we can never see that reflection because the sun is so bright that it washes everything out. But when it's partially eclipsed, as seen by the lens flare, we see. And if you're an intellectually honest person and you see things like this that don't make sense in the heliocentric model, you really need to ask yourself, do I continue to believe what I've always believed, or should I seek truth?